we obviously saw Liverpool crowned as champions of England, which I know, I assume was very painful for you in the same way. This article's come out from Jamie Carragher saying, move over, Sir Alex. There's no denying Liverpool are England's greatest club. There's been a lot of mentions, whether it be from the mainstream media, ex-players like Jamie Carragher on social media, a lot of mentions of Sir Alex Ferguson after this. Feels a bit weird to bring the man who won 13 league titles into this, like his records have been beaten.
Not bad. That's just what I feel like. Not bad. I mean, I'd say it to his face. I mean, at the end of the day, right, when Man United won the treble in 1999, I was living in Ireland. Amazing night, 3:00 in the morning, 3 of us left, bottle of whiskey, on the beach, cigars. At no point did I go, have that, Liverpool. They weren't in my head. Like, they just weren't in my head. And we have an amazing rivalry with Liverpool that, unfortunately, throughout my whole life has never married up. The best rivalry I ever saw was Arsenal in the late 90s, and it was amazing between Wenger and Sir Alex. I've never had the fortune of seeing Liverpool and Man United match up for even 2 years. We've just always been like ships crossing in the night. We never dock in the same port. And we are a huge rivalry. But to go after Sir Alex or mention Sir Alex or this, that, and the other, look, when we were winning all those titles, it was satisfying that Liverpool were shit. And I'm sure it's the same for Liverpool fans as well. But I don't really look at, Everton's our rival at the moment, not fucking Liverpool. We're awful. And Liverpool have been in that position when we were winning as well. So to talk about the greatest club in English history, I don't actually give a shit. Maybe I'll get to an age when I'm 90, if I'm lucky, and I'll go, we're the greatest club ever. I don't really care, because Man City have won 8 Premier League titles because they got a rich owner and they were nothing before that. Football is just so transient. It changes so quickly. I respect the rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester United. I respect the fact that Liverpool are the best team in England, and I've adjusted to the fact that we were going to win it from Christmas. But all this greatest club in the world, if that's what gets you excited, Jamie, crack up, knock one out. But for me, it just doesn't really resonate that much. I'm not that interested. We've got our own problems.
Listen, I echo that to a degree. I don't like seeing Liverpool win it. It was painful when they did, but I'm very much focused, and maybe it's how I view the world, right? So if I see someone doing well, if I see another YouTuber killing it, my honest thought is always, oh, well done you. Well done you. I'm always very focused on what I'm doing with with my businesses, with my family, with my friends. I don't really, I do watch what other people do. Mainly, you get inspiration from it in terms of, wow, look how great you're doing. I remember seeing Kevin Hart. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and Kevin Hart, I didn't know this, has a radio station and like a radio show. And he said that when he walked into Joe's studio and the back behind the scenes stuff, he was going, I was in awe of all your equipment and the setup. And he said, but I'm not the kind of man that gets jealous about how much better it is than mine. I go, right, I'm going to go away and improve my stuff. And that's kind of how I view the world. So for me, I'm not annoyed that they're doing it. I'm more looking at my own club. How do we respond? How do we get back to challenging, as an example? But there is a part of me in the last 24 hours that's been thinking, it's actually interesting now that they've got to 20 and now we're the greatest. We've overtaken you now. But for the up until they got number 20, when we had 20 and they had 18, all right, same amount of Champions Leagues. Even they actually had 5 Champions Leagues. Were they not
better anyway? Like, when they had 19, were they not better? That was the argument. That was the argument, right? So when we got to number 20 and we had 3 Champions Leagues and they had 5, they still argued that they were greater than we were, right? Now they're saying, now we're greater. So you are confirming that in 2013 we were greater than you. It just always makes me, you can tell, you wouldn't need to have this vitriol if you genuinely were already greater than us, which is fine. You deserve all the plaudits. You've won number 20. You've got 6 Champions Leagues. I'm taking none of it away from you. But it goes to show for the past 13, 14 years that in every single one of those debates, you weren't telling the truth. You were coping. You were projecting, because now you're saying we are. Well, if you already were, right? If you already were, then why have you got to say it now? But yeah, I just don't like the Sir Alex Ferguson element of it, because Sir Alex Ferguson came in when Man United had 7 league titles, and I think
Liverpool had 16. They won 2 titles whilst he was building the club up in the 80s and one in the 89-90 season. And then Fergie went on to win 13 league titles to their 2 in his tenure. 13 league titles to 2. If there's one person that Jamie Carragher should be leaving out of his mouth, it's the man that in his tenure in that rivalry smashed you 13-2. 13-2. It's ridiculous to bring Sir Alex into it. Go after the Glazers, Jamie. Go after Ineos if you want. Go after our recent managers, players, and captains that have been awful for 13 years. How are you attacking the individual? It's like if Man United won 2 or 3 Champions Leagues, my first thought wouldn't be, fuck you, Paisley. Because Paisley's done it. He's achieved it. It's a weird thing to do. A very, very weird thing to do.
I don't think it's resonating with a lot of your chat, which is good. But, there will be people that it does resonate with what Carragher's doing. And basically, I'd put it like this. It's like going to school and Carragher coming up to you and going, my dad's richer than you. And you going, I don't care, Jamie. I don't even know how we're going to pay for dinner tonight. I've got bigger things to worry about. It's absolutely fine if that gets you excited. But even if Man United were the biggest club in the world now, even if I could sit here and say we've won more than Liverpool, it doesn't change the fact we're swimming in the sewers. So it doesn't help me that we're the biggest club in the world, actually. And for Liverpool, I'm not dismissing it. Go and enjoy it. You're the best team in England, and if it makes you the best team in the world, bloody go and enjoy it amongst yourselves. But when you were shit and we were saying we're the biggest team in the world, was that your biggest concern, or was it the fact that you were shit? I, a long time ago, stopped giving a shit about what rivals say about Man United. It just doesn't work. It just when we get rival fans coming in going, ha, you're shit. I'm like, I know, that's fine. Now I'm going to talk to Man United fans about why we're shit and how we stop being shit. But you coming in and going, ha, you're rubbish. You're absolutely rubbish. Yeah, I know. It's like breaking your leg, isn't it? And someone going, Nelson from The Simpsons, you broke your leg. I fucking know. I can see the bone sticking out. Can someone call me a doctor? I don't. You put your clips on TikTok. I'm not bothered. So I respect what Liverpool have done, and if they are the best team in the world, so bloody what? It's not really. Like I say, it'd be great if us and Liverpool actually got into a
I would love a 5-6 year rivalry where both teams were phenomenal. Like they really would. And as I say, they've got 20 league titles. I hate that. I agree with and this is the other thing that got to me before we actually talk about Slot and how great they are, is I've always had this one issue with certain Liverpool fans, is that no amount of praise is ever good enough for them. No amount of praise is ever good. You say, Salah's one of the best right midfielders I've ever seen in the league. What do you mean one of the best? Yeah, one of the best. Don't you mean the best? And I always just find it's not all Liverpool fans, it's a subsection, but they're very loud. And you saw it on Sunday. When I saw all the quotes, and then I saw Sky, the Premier League, TNT Sports, all the big aggregator accounts basically say, do you agree with Gary Neville? Are Liverpool now bigger than Man United? And is the debate over? Or they literally quoted it as Gary Neville says the debate has ended. Liverpool are bigger than United. My first thought was, Gary, why'd you say that for? Why even say it? You don't even need to say it. Just congratulate them. Then you listen to it back, and what he said is that they're the most successful team now, and the debate's over for a period. And you just think to yourself, why are Liverpool on such a great day for your club? You can't even take a United legend, a former captain, saying you're more successful and saying the debate's over for a period. That wasn't good enough. You had to extrapolate it and and change it and go to biggest club and the debate's over forever. So you couldn't just take the compliment and go with it. You had to lie, which again sometimes makes you think, what are you exaggerating for? What's the need to exaggerate here? Are you a little bit insecure, maybe?
Where's the cutoff as well? Because I wasn't born in the 60s, so can I get rid of a few of their titles and a few of ours? If you're a chuff monster and you were born in like 1990, do you just count Premier Leagues from there? Some of these trophies are going back to before most of us was born, which is why for me it's sort of irrelevant. Who's the most successful club in the last 10 years? It's not Liverpool. It's not United. It's Man City. Who's the most successful club in Premier League era? Manchester United. I don't care. If I think it's nice for Liverpool because you are successful and then you can look at your success. But from a Man United point of view, we're so shit. I don't
I
watch
hear that.
MUTV and go, oh, look at that 96 season. Let's sit down and enjoy it. I can't take any pleasure in it. I can't take any pleasure in it because it just makes me even sadder about where we are now.
I hear you. Let's take a little listen here to what they've said on the overlap about Slot's first season in England. Let's take a little listen.
Where does this rank in terms of managers' achievements? Because none of us had Liverpool winning the league, and there are not many people in this country had Liverpool winning the league this year.
You didn't have them in the top 5, mate.
I think Mourinho would still probably just rank above it for me in terms of because Chelsea had never won a league title for a lot. You know what I mean?
Chelsea this season before had finished second. My point being is Chelsea went and bought, like, we're just spending 30, 40
I mean, Ranieri at Leicester is the top one of all time.
Yeah.
I think to me, Jose and Slot is the one that I'm looking at.
I think Slot and probably Wenger winning the double. Even though Wenger come in the year before, but it was halfway through.
It took a couple of years, yeah.
No, it was his first full season.
Yeah, I know, but he was still a bit in the
I get that, but what I'm saying is...
You notice how they're doing first full season for Wenger and they're counting it as a full year, but they won't give Hammer him until next season before they start attacking him. Funny that, isn't it?
Arsenal were a team who were finishing 5th and 6th. I think Arsenal maybe finished 5th or 6th. Wenger had been there, so okay. But to win the double in his first season, full season, but Slot doing it without so probably Slot might win. What do we know? Slot will win the league.
I've got him as manager of the year.
I think.
Where do you rank it? Slot's first season in England.
I think it's great, actually. That clip, it sort of absolutely encapsulates the dismissiveness of the Premier League post 2000, and it's amazing because the way Gary Neville dismisses Wenger when he was actually playing for Manchester United, a team that was, without doubt, dominating English football with Sir Alex Ferguson, and a team that had just been rebuilt. You know, you don't win anything with kids in 96, and we won the double. And the class of 92 were getting better and better. Roy Keane was in his prime. And then Wenger comes in and in his first full season wins the double. We dismissed that because, we'd been there for a few months before. I don't think that Wenger first, if we're talking about first full seasons, I think the Wenger one, and there'll be a lot of people in the chat don't want to talk about it because they weren't alive, but what Wenger did to win a double away from that Man United side in his first full season with an Arsenal team that had like Bruce Rioch in charge was absolutely incredible. So I think Wenger cannot be dismissed. I think Jose Mourinho's first season, I remember that, was incredible. They were like a bloody train from the day one. You know, they were just unbelievable. And I think Arne Slot, look, I did a video. I didn't even realize I did a video on That's Football saying why Slot will make Liverpool successful before they'd even kicked a ball. And a lot of people, I don't think Gary Neville had Liverpool in the top 4. And I said, he will make them successful because if you look at the way he plays football and the team he's inheriting, as long as those players buy into his style of football, you don't need transfers because it will work. And I think that's harder than any tactics. Ten Hag came to United with a very good style of system, but the players never wanted to adopt it, so he had to adapt to them. Those Liverpool players took to Slot very, very quickly, and he had the pre-season, and they've won the league at an absolute canter. So, actually, Terry, I don't know what you think. For me, I think it's really difficult to definitively break those 3 stories. I think Wenger winning a double in his first full season against a dominant United Sir Alex side, Mourinho coming in and destroying everybody in his first year, and then Slot doing what he's done. I think they are 3. And I know Ranieri's clearly the best. Is he? Is he really? That was a weak Premier League season. It was it was an amazing story.
Yeah.
But it was a shit Premier League. Like
my mind has changed. We spoke about this yesterday morning, I think, on Straight Facts. And since doing it, I've read a lot of the comments from my viewers, obviously, as we do. I've listened to other people talk about it. My mind has been consistently changing because I keep hearing great arguments. So, and this is a slightly different reframing because what we spoke about on yesterday's show was a manager's first season in England. So, for instance, Ranieri wasn't in the conversation because he'd managed before in England. So that was the framing of that question. This is slightly different. If it's your first season with a team. I mean, there'll be another way of phrasing it as well. I saw another account put this as number one, but it says first season managing in the Premier League. And then I thought, well, then you could throw Sir Alex Ferguson into it, because people forget that it is a different competition. The framing's important. But this has been a brilliant campaign. And you, just like myself, I got a lot of abuse, even from Liverpool fans, like the guys that are anti-FSG in the summer, for saying they would challenge for the league title. The only element I got wrong with Liverpool is I just felt because they didn't buy enough, I thought going up against Manchester City, they just wouldn't have enough in the end to get over the line. What I didn't factor in. Yeah, I think I put Liverpool third, but I said they'd be in a title race until pretty late on. What I didn't factor in was City being nowhere near their standard, which I think has helped because you remove that,
no one called that
pressure.
Though,
No one called it. No one called it at all. So I think you made a great point about Wenger in the framing of it this way, because he was up against a team like Man United chasing them to the death as an example. I also think a manager we shouldn't forget about is Premier League and FA Cup winning manager Ancelotti in his first season at Chelsea. That man stopped a four-peat chasing Man United. And again, they beat us to the league by 1 point. And I suppose we have to weigh it up this way as well. It sometimes looks more definitive when you win a league title at a canter like Liverpool have. At the same time, people disrespect Fergie's final winning Premier League team in 2013 because there was no one good challenging us. So you've got to be, this is my point to Liverpool fans, if this is better than Ancelotti's and Wenger's because you did it with ease, you've all got to rewrite the history again now and prop up 2013 Man United, I think 88, 89 points that smashed everybody to pieces. That's got to go from being one of the worst champions to one of the best as well, right? So for me, I think it's a great argument. But for Slot, I'm going to take nothing away from what he did this year. I think he's done a phenomenal job. Liverpool have been amazing. I think they've been played down. And as much as I can say everything I did earlier about people trying to throw Fergie under buses and stuff and take his legacy away, that won't stop me from praising how good this Liverpool team is. I think they've been phenomenal this season. They deserve all the plaudits. It doesn't matter that City fell off or Arsenal fell off to a degree. Liverpool still delivered. Because if Liverpool were as bad as them, City or Arsenal could have still gone on to win the league. At the end of the day, they were head and shoulders in the end above every other side in England, and they deserve nothing but praise for that, in my personal opinion. It's very hard, though, as you say. One thing I would say about